I'm sure this surprises no one, but I'm a bit of a nerd, and like many people, I have a habit of finding an extra fix for my various interests online, especially looking through YouTube, behavior I definitely practiced in middle school. So it wasn't surprising when this led me to find these silly anime characters who sang music and connected wires in my brain. I would download the music onto my iPod and would listen to it very quietly and not tell anyone what I was listening to. I wasn't trying to gatekeep or anything. In 6th grade, I was already getting bullied for liking Sonic and anime, and I was not opening up about my interest for a while. Vocaloid became one of my favorite things to look up online, and to this day, I still enjoy it unapologetically. To briefly explain what a Vocaloid is, someone records their voice, which is then turned into a voice bank that is then assigned to a character. These individuals are contracted and compensated for their work and for the use of these vocal samples, and people can purchase the said voice banks and create songs using those vocals, tuning, composing, like you would with an instrument. Despite what many people understand, it's not AI. You actually still have to do the work to make them sing the things you want them to sing. You can't just AI generate a Vocaloid song to slay the way they do. Hatsune Miku is obviously the poster child for Vocaloid. She's the first Vocaloid, she gets all sorts of obscure commercials for Domino's and Toyota, and recently had a collab with another love of mine, Pokemon. And she's safely the staple of Vocaloid. If you don't know her, yes you do. She's obviously not the only one. There are tons of different Vocaloids that you could in theory listen to and decide to become obsessed with for their different vocal types or superficially their designs. So as I was already impressed by the existence of Vocaloids, imagine little old me's surprise when I learned that there are concerts for them. Like, you can buy a ticket and go to a venue and watch them on stage. Anime is real. It's been a dream for a long time for me to be able to go to a Miku concert. I knew if I had the chance, I would drop anything to go. So when Miku Expo 2024 announced that they had tickets on sale back in 2023, I had to get them. I have a job, I can make plans, and I'm not scared of my middle school bullies finding me there. Right? Luckily, my buddy Charles Skilpion had a Crunchyroll premium account, and this gave us an access code to early access the tickets. Thank you, Charles. I'd like to say I do not typically go to concerts. I went to a Big Time Rush concert at a fair when I was younger, but disaster soon struck after that. But I still liked the idea of Miku concerts. The illusion and light show around her that leads to a really cool visual from the artist's eye. I respect it a lot. I also ended up dragging my sister Willie here along with me. She even made me custom pants. This was my fit for the Miku concert, by the way. How do you guys like it? I never understood when people got all dressed up to go to like Taylor Swift concerts, but I get it now. This was my Eras tour. When I first got the tickets, I knew I was going to be making a video. Consider this essentially my first YouTuber travel vlog recap video thing. And I know it's probably going to be out months after the concert, but that's just what happens when you're an independent animation channel. So, a month before my concert, the first state in North America was in Vancouver. And oh man, the Miku community was in shambles. A quick lesson for the science of Vocaloid concerts: it's normally an optical illusion on a stage to make it look like there are real anime characters performing on stage in front of you, and it's at a scale that looks very similar to how a concert would be. I'm pretty sure it's a transparent screen that they light project the Vocaloids onto so they look 3D, and they've had this at previous American tours before, and a lot of people were expecting this, but the Miku community exploded when someone leaked out that they rolled out an LG flat screen TV to showcase Miku. Nice. Basically, without really disclosing it to the audience, centering a lot of their marketing for the event and merch around the glass panel screen, Miku Expo 2024 replaced the experience of a giant glass screen with an LED TV, and were quiet about it for quite a few shows before releasing a statement to the disgruntled fans saying, "We will be continuing to use the LED TV for the remainder of the shows, but we are taking the audience's word to heart." This change caused a whole rambling of controversy in the Miku sphere. People were telling Krypton to release her from the screens, and of course people were disappointed, but they also just seemed happy to be able to witness Miku. But I will say, inviting Miku to Coachella and putting her on my living room TV is incredibly funny. I saw a mix of a lot of toxic positivity and negativity on the situation, which helps no one. If people are disappointed, let them be disappointed. If people are having fun, let them have fun. Someone's enjoyment of this concert is such an odd thing to try and dictate or fight them over. It's completely harmless one way or the other. Anyway, that's my personal take on the subject. It's my first Miku concert, and any experience I get will be really exciting for me, so I was entering this concert with an open mind. The plan was to get up early morning of the concert, drive 4 hours to DC in my Jeep, find parking, have a blast at the Miku concert, and drive back home. Yes, it would hurt the bank on gas money, and yes, I would be very tired, but these were the cards I was dealt. Plus, this is Miku. I'm not sure when I'm gonna be able to experience another concert again, you know? In my head, this is all worth it. Also, I would like to say that this was my first time in DC ever. I've never done a visit here until it was for Hatsune Miku. like a real American. I drove to the venue and honestly had a really bad headache by the end of the drive, so I was walking kind of like a zombie when I got out of the car. We ended up meeting up with some of our friends in the parking garage and hung out for a little bit, and I apologize for probably not looking very approachable. They were super understanding and just wanted to try and have as much fun as possible while I struggled to stay alive. I think it was really funny because when meeting them, Article went to give Willie a hug, thinking she was me, which is very funny, and I'm amused. Willie is taller than me and has been for many years, therefore she gets confused as being the oldest daughter, aka me. So it happening again is just funny at this point. We decided to sit in a little chain restaurant and I was really struggling to be social, mainly laying with my head against the table and dry drowning myself, hoping that being overly hydrated would cleanse my brain of aches, which also meant that I had to pee. This restaurant was really interesting because to use the bathrooms, you need to insert a code found on your receipt, which was a new concept to me. But despite this, there was a long train of different Miku cosplayers and fans just holding the door open for each other to avoid needing to put in the code, which, what an awesome community. I was still feeling really out of it, and I thought maybe some fresh air would help, so I went to sit outside in this outdoor seating area, and Willie came with me, so I wasn't alone because it's not safe to be alone when you're in a new place hours away from your home. On our way out, we saw this Amazon Basics giant Connect 4 off the boat dock, which was very enticing. We were setting up to play when Charles manifested into existence next to us and started playing against Willie. Charles is like a tic-tac-toe and Connect 4 master. I think he said he lost once and then just kept practicing until he was really good out of spite. Something about the indomitable human spirit or something, I don't know. The rest of the gang also joined in, some attempting to beat Charles, some getting close, and watching the pigeons. This one male pigeon tried courting at least 3 different lady pigeons and was rejected each time. Poor guy. He had 0 riz. It was kind of fun watching the VIP line fill up with cosplayers as well. And since the event was sold out, you can imagine how long these lines were. They literally had to conduct traffic to let people in because of the amount of people in the location of the lines, and one person ran down the VIP line with a bald Miku plush, and everyone cheered for her. As we were sitting in the shade, I looked over and saw that right next to us there just so happened to be a giant LED TV to our left. Guys, she got here early. I was laying down on this bench right next to the Connect 4 tournament going on with a Miku towel wrapped around my eyes to prevent the light from seeping in. And after laying there for a while, I felt good enough to at least walk around again, which is a yay for the group. Mentioned before, where we were sitting had a really good line of all the Miku cosplayers, and one of which was a Miku furry, a full-on Miku fursuit. And he was very kind. He let me take a picture with him, and then a large crowd started forming to also take pictures with him. Article wanted to get a picture with him, but wasn't able to, so I photoshopped them over top of me so that they could steal it. At one point, we were sitting down, and Charles bends down to tie a shoe, and while we're talking, a woman walks by us and mumbles, well, I have to censor it, "These people need to krill themselves." Damn. She hates Miku. It also was humorous hearing Charles continuously reference the Spider-Man Homecoming movie where he goes to DC for the decathlon, and it probably didn't help that everywhere we went we saw the tip of the Washington Monument. Hey, that's from the Spider-Man movie. Do you think Spider-Man's here? Fast forward to us getting in line for general admittance, and it was like a game of red light, green light mixed with Snake. We were in this super long line across the pier across from the venue just because the entrance was too small for the amount of Miku fans. Anyway, we stepped out to the venue and saw a lot of people in line for merch, and a crowd of fans dressed up as a ton of different Vocaloids and just holding different merch. It was really sweet to see. Me and Willie went to use the bathroom before the concert, and when we came out, everyone was practicing their glow stick routine, which was really cool to see. And then Willie just very casually goes, "Oh, it's funny how many people are offbeat." She didn't mean it out of a place of malice or in a snooty way. It was just a casual observation she made. It still made me chuckle though. We were making our way up the stairs where we were seated when the intro started, and because I felt bad, I just had to stand on the 3rd floor looking at the screen from below while they played the little cutscene introducing all the names and colors for each Vocaloid performing, and I actually started tearing up, which was really embarrassing. By the way, the Vocaloids are the only pre-recorded part of this concert. There was a real-life band to play all the instruments for her songs. They went insanely hard. Mad respect to all of them, every single one. They had a little intermission song where they introduced themselves, and each member got to do little solos, and every single one of them pulled off insane solos that really showed their skills and affinities for their craft, and that was awesome. Remember how I said I was open-minded going in? Thank God. I didn't even care if it was on an LED. The lighting background made up for it, and even if it didn't, I was just so happy to see them all there because they're my best friends and they're real, and I was there personally for them as their best friend. Charles, Willie, and I each had a glow stick to jam out to the music with, and we were doing a pretty good job. Until 3 songs in. Unknown Mother Goose. one of my absolutely favorite Vocaloid songs. I was jamming out so hard to Unknown Mother Goose, my light stick broke in my hand. The screw came out, the batteries flew onto the floor. I had to quickly scramble to pick them up as discreetly as possible in the dark and put them back in, but as I turned to my left to see if any of my friends saw, I am met with Kolga's horrified face. Willie said her arm was tired, so she offered me hers, which led to me dual wielding the light sticks, which ended up backfiring on her because at some point I jammed too hard and hit her in the back of the head. I am sorry, Willie. By the way, the music was so loud, me and Willie literally felt it altering the beat of our hearts, which is a crazy feeling. If you need to bring someone back from the dead, just take them to a Hatsune Miku concert and get their heart beating. I was really excited that Ren and Len did Childish War. They did such a silly routine, and I used to listen to that song a lot. I love lore-based Vocaloid songs. You guys ever listen to the Daughter of Evil series? Fun time. Watching the different outfits, character performance was also incredibly emotional that I know younger me would have lost her marbles. When it got to the end of the show, Miku performed her final song, and then the screen went black. The lack of object permanence set in, and people demanded for Miku to come back. Miku. Do they even do encores at a Vocaloid concert? Yeah, how did that work? And with a digital magical girl transformation, there she was. She performed 2 more songs and thanked us all for being there, and I swear she came out of the screen and held my hands tenderly before ascending above me and disappearing in a digital dust. Did I mention that I had a bad headache? Is someone making toast? And then we escaped DC. Miku Expo genuinely made me so happy, even if some would say that it wasn't the real Miku experience. Being able to celebrate a part of myself that I was so scared of back in middle school really felt like such immense growth, especially being able to share it with so many people who also enjoyed it, and even more so, those people being ones I deeply care about. Vocaloid is what helped me gain more of a respect for music back when I was younger, as it was mainly indie producers and composers and helped me realize that music was more than just what was played on the radio, and I'm forever grateful for that eye-awakening. It was genuinely one of my favorite events I've ever gone to, which to be fair isn't many, but the fact people were wearing Miku merch and were just able to feel safe around each other and hold casual conversations while being dressed up like anime characters, being part of a little club was just such a nice sense of community that made me feel really sappy, which is cringe. I hope that if you're like me, you also get to enjoy a Miku concert. If you're not into Miku though, I hope you can find and enjoy your own experience like this. I'm super thankful I got to see Miku in concert, and I'm glad I got to do it with friends who also really enjoy Miku, surrounded by a full stadium of people who also liked Miku. I would love to go to one again. Hopefully without the terrible migraine. That was brutal, and there is a limit to how much ibuprofen a person can take.